So at the end of the first film, they blue ball us with a cliffhanger where we see Andromache's lifelong partner still alive after being thrown into the ocean to die and respawn for essentially 5 generations, which is an incomprehensible amount of suffering. I don't wish that on my worst enemies, and if you do, you're just sick. Now, Andromache has basically been head honcho for the past 500 years, but now that Quinn is back from the dead, times 500 years, Andromache doesn't know how to feel. Which makes sense, because like imagine your best friend was locked up for 500 years for crimes he didn't commit. On one hand, you'd be excited to see him, but on the other hand, he's probably seen some shit and you probably shouldn't get too close, or else, I don't know, he might just crash out. Before we get to their interaction though, the squad are all showcasing their chemistry while taking over an arms deal. Oh, and there's also this guy too. Someone tell him he doesn't have powers like the rest of them. Now once they're done overthrowing this arms deal, Joe heads off and decides it's enough violence for this lifetime. His boyfriend decides to follow him out of suspicion. Bro therefore thought he was getting cheated on. Turns out Joe went to go meet Booker since he feels bad because he's been exiled from the squad. But obviously you know he betrayed Andromache in the last film and you can't betray head honcho. But when they get to the room, it turns out Booker isn't there. There's blood everywhere and it just looks suspicious. See, Quinn already got to him because she's been trying to find Andromache and she knew if she got to him, he could help her find Andromache. But she doesn't know that he's been exiled and he's trying to convince her. She's not hearing it though. Eventually she lets him go and decides he'll just bring Andromache to her. Once Booker gets back with the squad to let them know that he found Quinn, Andromache's like, what the F is this op doing here? But he hands her a relic that only Quinn could have had. So she believes him, but doesn't quite trust him yet. Now that's just the beginning of the film and I'm not trying to make this video 2 hours. One thing I loved about this movie is the amount of lore they dropped on us compared to the first film. Like we found out Nile is the last of their kind, which means if she makes you bleed or hurts you in any type of way, you lose your ability to regenerate even after death, which explains why Andromache lost her powers in the first film. We also learned that they can transfer their powers willingly to whoever they want to. They don't have to say anything or do anything, they just kind of have to want to give their powers to that person and the transfer will happen overnight. All this information makes watching this movie so much more interesting. It allows you to focus on the actual plot and not the questions like why and how they're doing the things they're doing. Perfect writing on that front. Now that the positives are out the way, can I just say how lazy they were with this Quinn character? I feel like after spending 500 years dying over and over again at the bottom of the ocean, there'd be more to her character. Like maybe make her non-verbal due to the trauma or something along those lines. It just felt like the writers were lazy with her character and just made her want to come back and kill her best friend. Luckily she wasn't the only antagonist. Some chick called Discord wanted to use Nile to kill the squad. Cause remember, if she hurts them or kills them, they won't come back to life. But like she's also their friend, so I don't know how that would work. Discord also felt rushed in my opinion. What her motives were and like why her motives were that, I'm still asking myself those questions. All in all, it wasn't a bad film. I just felt like they could have done a lot more with those characters. It just feels like they could have done a lot more after the first one. But judging by the way the second movie ended, it seems like they're trying to line us up for a third film, which is, I don't know, it kind of depends, I guess.